Welcome to another edition of Fly Ventures. Recently, I have released two how-to-tie videos, the Filleg and the Ghost Protocol salmon and steelhead fly patterns. Today, we will depart from the vise and proceed to the lab. A couple months ago, I had an idea for a new fly, at least to me, the Filleg pattern. Having successfully fished for salmon and steelhead, both with egg flies and with flesh flies independently, it occurred to me, why not combine them into a single fly? What would that look like? What materials would I use? And how the fly presents in the water. This video covers the development process from basic concept to finished design. As with all design efforts, there are successes and failures along the way. This will be evident in the clips of some of the variants that footage was captured for and the associated commentary. Let's start with the finished flies, the Filleg and the Ghost Protocol. It can be seen they are very similar in many ways. Technically, the Ghost Protocol occurred as a result of a failed Filleg variant. The primary difference is the length of the craft fur dubbing brush, 2 inches on the Filleg and 3 inches on the Ghost Protocol. I started with materials I had on hand to get an idea of how the materials looked in the water. In this case, I had some leftover pinkish dubbing brush from another project, some 6mm plastic beads. First result, not bad. Here, a string of 3 6mm beads was tied onto the hook, and again, a synthetic dubbing brush was used to form the flesh. This, a failure. The beads are too far away from the hook. The fish's mouth will never see the hook. Here, a cluster of 4mm plastic beads was added, and a long fibered craft fur dubbing brush was used to generate the body. I really like the way this pattern looks. Another egg cluster variation. 4 large bead chain eyes were added to improve the stability of the fly in the water. That did work, and to orient the hook up. This one looked pretty good as well. This variation has 2 strings of 3 beads each. Used the 4 bead chain eyes for stability and a more sparse dubbing brush. Again, this hook is too far away from the beads to ensure hookups. I do like the more translucent appearance of this pattern. This pattern was a failure and a success all in one. The dubbing brush fibers were way too long for the intended purpose. It was, however, the birth of the Ghost Protocol fly. The egg or eggs shrouded in the translucent material was a very interesting concept, thus a success. At this point, I transitioned development to the Ghost Protocol fly. In a moment, decided to add a shank for the fly body and tie the hook and the beads on leashes attached to the shank. This should improve the hookup percentage. Also generated some dubbing brushes using softer, more flowy materials. Another trailing hook variation. This dubbing brush utilized some lavender, white, and gray fibers. A very nice look. This variant, same issue with the hook. I did change the knot used to tie the hook to the shank. I used a Snell knot. This provided better alignment with the shank. The synthetic dubbing brush was a bit dense. It did hide the hook pretty well. Also, the eggs pretty much disappeared. It was at this point that I abandoned the trailing eggs concept and decided to utilize the hook and tie it on as a single egg. This eliminated the fouling issue, simplifying the tying process, and opened the door to numerous egg-style variations. Here are a couple more color variations. The soft fibers do provide a translucent, ghost-like appearance, hence the name Ghost Protocol. The dumbbell eyes do stabilize the pattern well. The egg hook is riding or pointing straight up. And finally, circling back to the Filleg pattern, 2 color variations on the flesh egg theme. The softer fiber dubbing brushes seem to provide the very best movement, as can be seen here. So, in conclusion, the development process generated successes and failures. However, the process resulted in the generation of 2 unique fly patterns. There were several in the bunch that I would like to give further testing this fall or winter on the water. However, if you like the flies or the concept, feel free to build upon them. Let me know how they work for you. As always, if you're still with me, thanks for watching Fly Ventures, living life on the mend. You know what to do. If you like this, hit the like button and subscribe for more Fly Ventures.